Did you get it? Is it on?
Episode 6 of the Ogre Network podcast. Ed and Aaron. Aaron's the man. Remember, Aaron, the man, Dalzell.
You know what? Matter of fact, I like where you're headed with that. That might be the new business card.
There you go. The man.
Yeah. I like it.
I just want to make sure
I
that
might
you're
even go
safe.
with duh man. D-A. Duh man.
Oh, duh man. Ooh. Just want to make sure you're still safe from Hurricane Hilary.
It got a little hectic, but yes, I think everything's gonna be okay. I think everything's gonna be.
What do you mean hectic? What happened?
I don't know, man. It was rainy. It was windy.
How windy was it?
I don't know. It was Gus. It was.
Did you just lose everything? I mean, you were boarded up your house and everything.
No. But that's we've talked about this before, and that's never to make light of a hurricane this,
right.
A hurricane that, a tornado that, a fire here, right? With all that stuff. It's terrible. You never want to be part of it. We're fortunate to where we had such minor things and can kind of laugh it off. But
right.
I think it's just one of those things that when people hear these things and we let like the media like just get in our brains and we just blow these things up. I mean, you would have thought the meteor, like the size of Earth, was coming down to explode us, like the way people. And I get it. It hit different areas hard. There was some stuff up Mount Charleston, some roads. I get it, but it's like I think people have to do some research too. Like in anything we do, like the hurricane was away. Like we were gonna get the spray off of it. So yes, precautions needed to be made in some places, but I think where we lived and by my house, I wasn't jumping out to grab sandbags. I kind of knew where it was coming. I felt that we were in a safe, thankfully, we were in a good, safe spot. But, I mean, come on, that's your world. I mean, that's your world. Hurricane, that's your world, right?
That was the thing. Being from Miami, yeah, I'm used to, Category 1 hurricane, 600 miles away.
I mean, do you guys even get out of bed for Hurricane Category 1?
No, I don't think they even close schools. I think it's just, hey, everybody go to school. It's okay. You're fine. You'll be fine. You'll live.
That's funny. So, when I grew up in California, we'd always have earthquake drills, right? You have to go to school. You have to practice getting under your desk, making sure your earthquake. Did you have hurricane drills in Miami? I mean, it's a legit question. I'm sure somewhere, maybe the Midwest, they practice tornado drills.
No, hurricane drills are going to the store in Miami, going to the store and buying beer. I mean,
that's a hurricane drill.
You just got to get ready for it.
So, that's funny because... I mean, that's a good thing to have in your bunker, right?
That's it.
If we're gonna build a
beer,
bunker,
that's it. Everything
food
else
and
is
beer
good.
sounds like a good place to start. So it is interesting, and this will be get your opinion on this. So I was talking to my wife about it, and she made the comment. She's like, "Man, I feel like I should be preparing for something. Like I see everybody doing stuff. Like, should I go to the store, get groceries? Like, how long do you think we could be stuck in our house?" She's like, "I'm not really concerned about that, but should I go maybe get my grocery shopping done today instead of tomorrow or whatever, just to make sure we're a day ahead of it." In Miami, in these areas, did you guys do a lot of preparing? Do you have tornado bags, hurricane bags? So do you have a spot to go? Do you have canned beans sitting around you can go to?
So not really, dude. We did go somewhat to it and hey, we need water. We know we need water and stuff like that, but I mean, I lived through Hurricane Andrew, which destroyed Miami, right? And that wasn't nothing to joke. I mean, we had the National Guard by where I lived at the time in my mom's house that you got off the freeway and they were checking IDs to let you back in the neighborhood because we had no power, we had nothing back there. People were looting houses and stuff or trying to loot houses. So they wouldn't let anybody back there. So it was crazy during Hurricane Andrew, but I don't remember anybody went crazy packing stuff. It was what it was, and we just dealt with it.
Well, and I would imagine, I know we have a bag, if you have to evacuate, whether it's a fire, a candle lights something on fire. I mean, I know we got a little bit of a go bag. I know we've got water in the closets. I mean, I would imagine in some degree most of our country has got some type of preparation, whether it's because you never know, you see apartment fires, house fires, and
now granted, I'm sure there are people that do prepare. I'm not saying
it just wasn't
my
you.
circle, my circle of friends. We would literally wait till I don't know, till the storm was okay, it's for sure coming. It's 10 hours away, and 10 hours from hitting landfall. It's coming right to us. okay, it's time to board up, time to do all that stuff. Because we had the thing in Miami, once we boarded up, boards weren't coming down for the rest of hurricane season. We weren't going to be putting up and taking down and putting up and taking. That's too much work. So we just put them up and they're just going to stay up for the rest of the time.
Interesting. And I wonder if that, that just kind of starts to play into like, significant other, spouses, life, work, right? School, whatever it is. Like, I think it starts to play off your personality, right? Like, are you naturally a procrastinator or are you a planner? So it's like, because like, I think of you as, I think you're kind of like a hybrid. I think you like to know what's going on. I think you like to know, like you like to have a plan, but you're also very much like, what are we talking about? Yeah. Let's get some of that. Let's do that. Like, yep. What? Yeah. You need a new, like, let's get that. Like, hey, for a podcast, like we want to change up the set a little bit. Just, okay. No problem. I got the office now. I got green screens, the mics, the whole nine. So I think like you are a planner, but you're also like an all-in kind of guy. Like you are all or nothing, which reminds me a lot about like kind of like my dad was that way. He's like, right? He's like all or nothing. And that's why it's funny. It's like, it's like how planning kind of it just circles back to our personalities. And it's like, that's why I think my wife and I are a good match. Hopefully still she believes that, but like she is the planner, right? She makes sure like if we go on vacation or a trip or something, she's got it planned out. Right. Whereas like me, I'm more of the we'll figure it out when we get there. And I think you need to have a little bit of both, right? Because without the planning side, we probably wouldn't get there, right? Or when we got there, we'd be in deep trouble. Where me, it's a little bit of like, yeah, okay, now it's fine. Now we can figure it out. Like, and it's okay to adapt on the fly. And it's interesting because I think that rolls into work. Like for others, school and stuff. But like, it's kind of like in our industry in real estate, right? Like you got to have a plan, right? Like. Like when you get the listing, you know what documents have to go in, what the process is. So you have a plan to get you from A to Z through that transaction. But everywhere in between, there's like a whoop, right? Where you got to be able to kind of adapt and kind of be a little bit creative and stuff. And so it's interesting how all of our minds work. And there are those people that will procrastinate in real estate. And we see that,
Yep.
And then they're getting down to, it's like the 12th hour of, the last day, due diligence day 10. And they're like, I'm down to like 2 hours. Like, what are we going to do? Well, like maybe we should have started thinking about that on day 1 or 2 or 3. And, and I don't know, I've been like, I've been guilty. I've ran some due diligences down and not necessarily my fault, but I've been like, okay, that'll be fine. Sure, I'm on the same page. But, it's interesting how you go from survival tactics to life tactics to vacation tactics. You have that procrastination, that planning, and there's a good balance of it, right? Some people like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised I'm still together after 22 years. Because I'm more of the like, yeah, I'm all in. And then,
right.
What are you all in? It doesn't matter. I'm just all in.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do everything as far as I can, as hard as I can, for as long as I can, and that's it. And we'll just figure it out. Which is funny because, like in our business, right? You say, okay, I'm gonna prospect. What is it? Then I'll book appointments, or I'll do something, or I'll have things to do, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm good for a little while.
Right.
I'm gonna take a break now.
Yeah, we get those blinders on.
That's it. I'm good for today. I'm not gonna do things today.
Well, and it's funny because you talk about that, and it's like that yin and yang, like we were just talking about in relationships. But like even our relationship is very like we joke, right? It's like Pinky in the Brain, right? Like if you've seen that commercial, like every day I'm like, all right, Ed, what are we gonna do today? I'm gonna take over the world, right? I'm just like, how are we like? Yep, we're gonna be in Florida, we're gonna be in Arizona, we're gonna be in Texas, we're gonna be in Cabo, Taiwan, the Philippines, and China. I'm like, okay, when? Like, end of September, latest. I'm just like, whoa, hey, I love the vision, right? But it's like, okay, let's conquer Las Vegas and maybe some places we can get to like in our car, Like I know, with the Ogre network, what's awesome, you got the expansion already in Miami, which is great because you can go go to coast here, and that's the beauty is that we can go coast from coast and everywhere in between without all the expansion offices set up already, but. That is funny because that's very much our style, and normally I'm like, yep, let's do it, baby, all in, right? But it's like I feel like my role in the relationship is like, okay, hold on, I agree, let's take over the world. However, let's figure out first, right?
Let's take a baby step. So my coach today, right? Everybody has a coach, right? So you have a coach,
right?
I have a coach, and with my coach today. we were talking about that. You know, he's like, okay, you had this plan of what you want to do. Have you figured out how we're going to do it yet? And I'm like, kind of. He was like, what do you mean kind of? I'm like, yeah, I have a plan, and these are the steps we're going to do. You know, we're going to roll out that training again to help more agents, right? We're going to do these things that possibly could get us in the right direction. And he's like, okay, so what's your definite plan? I don't know. We'll just take over the world. So that's the plan. How I'm going to do it, I don't know. But it's going to happen one way or another.
Well, and that's, it's kind of like, we had that awesome training with some agents that we brought onto the team and stuff last week that definitely poked the bear a little bit, stirred the pot, got some a lot of intrigue in the office this week, which is great. Like that was the purpose, not to create anything to circumvent things, but it's like, hey, to provide value, right? And to help the Ogre network to grow. And it's funny because one of the things that we talked about was accountability and checking in and understanding where time goes. And one of the things that we talked about, like just like you said, just like your coach said, like if A is where we are and Z is taking over the world, it's like anything. If you were to go on a trip today and you were trying to get from A to Z, nowadays, you MapQuest it, right? And you start plotting out, okay, listen, like I've got, 400 miles before I got to fill up, right? So you start plotting it, and hey, I got to stop here, because I'll probably be hungry, but I got to get gas. Or, like, hey, well, I'm going to be hungry around here, but gas is here, like limiting those stops, and trying to time everything up so that you have your check-ins, you have your accountability, and knowing that timing, like I think a lot of us, we just operate. We don't know how long it takes us to do things. So you're like, oh yeah, like I got a half hour, I'll be fine. Like, this is a 2-hour task, right? What do you mean you got a half hour? You'll be fine. And that goes back to that procrastination. And I'm starting to time a lot of things that I do, like my critical tasks, to know so I can better budget my time, right? Because it's like, man, we'll be fine, right? My wife gives me the look every time when I'll come home, and I'll be like, I sit down on the couch for a minute, she'll kind of give me that look, and I'm like, I know, baseball practice starts at 5:30. I'm like, it's 5:05. She's like, but you're not ready to go. Don't you got to pack the truck? And I'm like, plenty of time. Like, and I can see the anxiety like kicking in. So it's like in my brain, I'm like, a half hour means like I got 2 hours, plenty of time. But like we all process that different, and knowing, it's interesting because things that you think are like 5-10 minute tasks are really like 30-45 minute tasks. And then you realize your day starts to get behind, and then we start using the excuse, I'm busy. How was the day? I was busy. I was slammed. I had anxiety. But it's like, if we would have just checked it, built our check-ins, had our accountability, and know our timing on these critical tasks that get us from where we are today to taking over the world, that roadmap kind of plays itself out for you.
Well, that leads into something that's really interesting that I've heard a million times, right? We as people overestimate what we can do in 1 year and underestimate what you can do in 5.
Oh, for sure.
So that's the same thing, right? We think we have half an hour, we can do it 2-hour task in half an hour.
Oh, for sure.
But then, we have something a year from now, like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. That's a lot of work. So it's the same thing. So I don't know. I just think it's fun to do things and take things up the seat of your pants. I love helping people, so it's fun to train and do stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and it's funny because I know before the last episode we were talking about the book Who Not How, right?
Right.
So that what you just said kind of reminds me of that other book, the 12-Week Year, right? So the concept of the book is, when I first saw it, I was completely misunderstood, and that goes into like, not knowing and not doing our research like we talked about is I thought it was just like, oh yeah, how to make a quick fix, like here's the magic bullet. You can do as much as you want in 12 weeks. You can take the rest of the year off. Like, shame on me. I probably should have read and did some research, right? But to your point, right, it talks about taking, turning a year into 12 weeks. So instead of 12 months, taking 12 months, you're like, okay, 12 months is really 12 weeks. Each week is a month. And so you have more opportunities to hit goals in a shorter amount of time. So instead of having one annual goal, you've got 4 goals,
right.
And your months are weeks, your weeks are days, and, like shrinking that process, like you said, like, oh man, a year out from now, that seems so long. Well, if you start thinking as a year is a month, it's like, okay, well, that's not as long. If we all thought, because we all think like, oh, I'm just going to do that by the end of the year. Why? Why does that have to be? And, certain things, maybe it is. Like, okay, taxes, right? You're going to have to wait till the end of the year.
Right.
But some stuff are like, I'm going to get in shape, 2024 is going to be my year. Why can't it be now? Why can't September be,
Because Monday only shows up once a week. So, if you don't start Monday, you skip till the next Monday.
Right.
I mean, we know that's how it works.
Yeah, it's just like going to the gym that first Monday or Tuesday once the new year hits.
If you miss this Monday, you can't do it till next Monday.
Okay, you can never start anything new
on a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
No, the week is shot. It's funny because I was thinking about it last night and I put out a video on Hump Day. Right, I love that. What day is it? Hump Day. It's like I feel like in the real estate world and. When you got kids, you got sports, you got everything going on. Why is Wednesday hump day? Like for me, I'm not sure there is a hump day or it's Friday your hump days, right? It's sometimes the weekends are busier for me, with maybe some showings or, people needing to get out to do some work. Plus you got kids, you got family time, in our house, it's 3 soccer games, a couple of baseball games here, a couple of baseball games here, a softball game here. It's sometimes the weekend is more tiring. I look forward to Monday to get into the office, maybe record a podcast, catch my breath, So it's I thought that was kind of funny, we still, it's that stereotypical hump day.
Sick kids.
Sick kids. My associate that came in the other day with us to help out.
Yes, the new assistant. Yeah.
My new assistant, yeah. I'm going to try to get him on the phones.
Are you?
At what age can I put him on the phones? Maybe it's just I get him on the phones and people don't hang. I mean, because maybe people don't hang up on him as quick.
They won't. He has a cute little voice.
That's what I'm thinking.
He smiles. Maybe you should do Zoom calls with him.
Just start Zoom calling a farm?
Just farm Zoom calling. Because, he has a little baseball cap on. He's, and he has that little smile. He has the light eyes and stuff. So, hi. They won't hang up on him.
It's then next we're going to have to deal with obviously we got the do not call list. There's going to be the do not Zoom list.
Yeah.
We can't just randomly, maybe that's an avenue. Maybe we just start calling people, we just start Zooming random people.
You weren't on the do not Zoom list, sorry. I didn't see you there. But joking aside, if you're on the do not call, do not call. Do not call people.
There's
on the do not call.
There's a reason the list exists.
And there's a hefty fine for calling people. We never call anybody that's on the do not call list. I don't suggest anybody that watches this is doing real estate or any other business call people on do not call list, unless they've asked you to call them, because that $10,000 fines get very expensive.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't know. You could be a millionaire and want to give up $10,000 every time you pick up the phone. I don't want to do that.
I like to go the other way, right? We talked about it in the training, right? How much each call can generate in revenue.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to make calls to lose money.
Okay.
I'm looking to make calls to generate income.
Okay.
I'm choosing to go in a different direction with that.
You got any big plans for this week coming up?
Yes, I do.
What do you have?
Got a birthday. A lady in my house has a birthday coming up. So, got some birthday plans for the weekend.
A lady in your house?
A lady in my house.
So your wife?
I listen, I didn't say that. I said a lady in my house.
Well, it's either your wife or your daughter.
She's still my little girl.
She's still okay, so the lady in the house is having a birthday.
Yeah. Oh. She's not so much a little girl. We call her Ronda Rousey in my house. I mean, she wakes up ready to throw blows. She wakes up ready to throw blows. I think she gets her rest at night and wakes up. She's like, all right. Who wants some? Come get some, right? Which I kind of wish I had a little bit more of that. She wakes up spitting fire. She cracks me. She's a killer. So, yeah. So, we're gonna keep it. We have such a busy schedule, and we've got a couple trips coming up. We do a yearly Labor Day trip with some really good friends of ours, and then we got sports schedules coming up. So we're just gonna go low key. We're gonna go do a little staycation, nice. With some friends, and enjoy
yourself.
Have a little pool day. Hopefully, we get some good.
So you're gonna be back Monday?
Yeah.
So we can do this again next week?
Oh yeah.
Because I don't know your busy schedule. What's your availability?
Hey, listen, I would suggest you get on the calendar, bro.
Oh, okay. Let's just put it on the calendar.
Yeah. And I know we finished up an awesome week of all that education with training and stuff, and new team members already.
Looking for the next week. So we're
good.
going to be coming out with training at the end of September. Just locking up the location and the time so we can get it scheduled in there.
Maybe some new guests. That'll be some guest speakers and stuff coming in. So that was pretty cool to see. Again, just to kind of see the energy and what happened when we went off that, and it's funny because, when I first got to this office, we went through a massive production massive production stuff, and we had a coach that was, I attribute a lot to her as helping get me started and stuff, and so it was kind of cool to kind of come full circle and kind of repay that a little bit, you know, of what we learned and how we were taught, and to put that out there. And it's funny how the week started on a Monday, you know, small little classes, you know, quick thing, and how it kind of grew throughout the week. I mean, it's not like it went from 2 to 40 people, but right. I mean, we went from 2 to 6, 7 people, you know, and now I think there's even a little bit more buzz. People have to raising their hand. How can I get in on this? How can I help? How can I help? And
yeah, now they're trying to figure out how do we pack the room. Like,
yeah,
because they hear the buzz about it. So interesting when you do things and you provide value with nothing in return. Like, we're not asking for anything in return.
Right.
We're not saying you have to do this or you have to pay for the class. We're just saying come learn, right? All we're doing is going to teach you what we know. So as long as you come from value, I think then you get a lot of things back out of value. So
well, it's funny because as you were talking, like that's the first thing that popped in my head is that we did do it out of place of value, like out of like full transparency, like. Our whole purpose of the classes was to add value, you know.
Right.
Of course, we were trying to focus on our team first to provide value there, but we opened it up to anybody. Just come in. If you want some value, it's free, no obligation. You don't have to pay. You don't have to sign anything. Like, it's like, hey, come listen, but we're going to provide value to our team. And it's funny because, you know, we've talked a lot about clients and how things go, and people get so, you know, we all, you know, and I'm still learning how to compartmentalize that. But it's like, you know, real estate is stressful because, you know, you're not getting paid every Friday.
Right.
And, you know, it's like the more you stress about that next check, it almost seems like it's like quicksand, right? You know, like the more you fight, the more you sink, you know?
The faster you go down.
Yeah, right? But it's like when you come from a place of value, we saw what it did for the education. When you come from a place of value to other people, you see, like, you know, what kind of clients you get, how they interact with you, because they're like, oh, you're not some crazed commission breath, greedy used car salesman, used real estate agent, you know, that is just I'll sell you ice to an Eskimo. Well, yeah, like we talk about, like, I love that. Like, I can sell ice to an Eskimo. What if the Eskimo doesn't need ice? He's already got ice. Why, you know, like, what value are we bringing to that Eskimo, right? So it's like, why am I trying to sell you something you already have? Right? It's like, you know, like same in the real estate. Like, why am I trying to sell you a house you already have? Like, let's find out what the needs are. Let's see how we can provide value. Maybe, you know, it's a bigger igloo, a bigger house, you know. Maybe they do need more ice. But I think sometimes we pigeonhole ourselves so bad trying to force what we need onto other people that, you know, it's hard to get the buy-in from team members, from clients, and they're used to, no, I don't want what you need, you know, like, this is what I'm looking for. So, it's interesting.
We'll continue to provide value to everybody.
That's right.
Hopefully everybody listens to this and likes all the BS we're talking. But it's
and if they don't, guess what? Keep on moving. That's fine.
We're going to be talking about it anyways. See you guys next week. Have a great one.